have a good rest?
Yes.
Are you all comfortably situated? Why you all are so far away? You can pull up your chairs closer. Are you all happy to be here?
Yes.
Are you at home?
Yes.
Are you missing your home?
No.
Is this better than home?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Srila Prabhupada Ki Hare Krishna. So we are starting our seminar on Uddhava Gita. So Uddhava Gita is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, you all are aware of. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna, and Uddhava Gita was spoken to Uddhava by Krishna himself. How many of you are aware of Uddhava? How many of you know Uddhava? Who is Uddhava? How many of you do not know? Okay, so briefly, though, about Uddhava is considered to be the greatest devotee of Krishna in Dwarka. And where is Dwarka? Dwarka is, you can say, even beyond Vaikuntha. In Brihad Bhagavatamritam, Narad Muni is searching for the greatest devotee of Krishna. And in his search, his search began like this. His search started from the earth planet. In the earth planet, he thought that a Brahmana who was rendering service to the Lord, worshipping him, was the greatest devotee. Then, when he went to the Brahmana told him, no, I am not the greatest devotee. The greatest devotee is such and such Kshatriya king. So he went to the Kshatriya king pointed to Indra as the greatest devotee. He went to Indra pointed out to Lord Brahma as the greatest devotee. Lord Brahma pointed to Lord Shiva as the greatest devotee. Lord Shiva pointed to Prahlad Maharaj as the greatest devotee. Prahlad Maharaj pointed to Hanuman as the greatest devotee. And they're giving reasons why they are greater than them. And then Hanuman pointed to the Pandavas as the greatest devotee. Pandavas pointed to the residents of Dwarka as the greatest devotee. And the resident of Dwarka pointed to Uddhava as the greatest devotee. Of course, the story doesn't end there. It goes further. Then Narad Muni got to realize that even beyond Dwarka is Vrindavan. The devotees of Vrindavan are the greatest devotee, and among all the residents of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani is the greatest devotee. So the final point is Srimati Radharani. She is the greatest devotee. She is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. But in this way we can see the position of Uddhava. And who is Uddhava? Uddhava is Krishna's cousin, his best friend. And he is also his minister. Uddhava was personally trained by Lord Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. And so this is the exalted position of Uddhava. And Uddhava was a constant companion of Krishna. Uddhava stayed with Krishna throughout the day. Only when Krishna fell asleep, then Uddhava used to go home. And in the morning, even before Krishna woke up, Uddhava came back. That is an ideal servant. Goes to sleep, after the master goes to sleep, and comes to attend the master even before he wakes up. So this is the position of Uddhava, one of the greatest devotees. Of course, there is another aspect. Like Uddhava, Krishna detected that Uddhava had some pride in his heart, being most intimate to Krishna and being the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. So in order to, Krishna, another name of Krishna is Darpahari. Krishna smashes the pride. When one becomes proud, Krishna smashes his pride. So Krishna detected that Uddhava had a little pride of being the greatest devotee. So Krishna told Uddhava, these cowherd girls and cowherd boys, they are feeling great separation from me because I am not able to be there with them. So you carry this message from me and you also pacify them, telling them that they should not miss me in this way. And so Uddhava carried the letter to them, thinking that, well, yes, I will give them the proper advice and for not to feel the separation of Krishna in this way. But when Uddhava went to Vrindavan and he saw the devotion of the gopis, then Uddhava realized that his devotion to Krishna is so insignificant compared to theirs. Therefore Uddhava wanted to receive the dust from the lotus feet of these gopis. Therefore Uddhava decided, or he prayed, he desired that he could become a creeper or a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Asha maho charana renu jushamahamsha Vrindavane kimapi gulma taroshadhina. Gulma means a bush, taru, a tree, and oshadhi, small plants. I wish that I could become that in Vrindavan, so that I can get the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis when they will walk by. And so in this respect, one question was raised. Why Uddhava wanted to become a blade of grass or a bush in Vrindavan? If he wanted the dust of the gopis, then he should rather be on the street, on the roads of Vrindavan. And Uddhava's reply to that was, when the gopis hear the flute, of the sound of Krishna's flute, they become so mad to meet Krishna that they lose all their consciousness. They just run to meet Krishna. At that time they don't have any consideration. Where is the road and where is the bush? So the chances are more that the gopis will run through the bushes or just through the field to get to meet with Krishna. So we can see, and still Uddhava is still there in by Radha Kund. Uddhava is still there as a bush. Those of you who have gone there, you have seen Uddhava is still there as a bush. And so this is the position of Uddhava. Uddhava could understand that Krishna was going to withdraw his pastimes. Therefore Uddhava requested Krishna that he could also go with him. But Krishna told him to stay on and go to Badarikashram. And then Krishna instructed Uddhava. And those instructions of Krishna is the Uddhava Gita. Bhagavatam describes all the 10 aspects of Puran leading to Ashraya. Mahapuran has got 10 symptoms. Those 10 symptoms are Atra, Sarga, Vishargascha, Sthana, Poshanam, Utayo, Manvantara, Ishanukatha, Mukti, Nirodha, Ashraya. It starts with Sarga. Sarga means creation. Visarga means secondary creation. Creation, then sub-creation. Sthanam, planetary systems. Poshanam, how the entire universe, how the entire creation is being sustained, maintained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Poshanam. Then Utayo, the different lineage of the royal families. Manvantara, the description of the different manus and their reigns. In a day of Brahma, 14 manus appear. So each reign of a manu is called a manvantara. And at that time, the entire system changes. Like the system means different demigods, sages, and so forth. So the whole shift changes. Like Indra changes. Like for example, Purandar is the Indra now. And in next Manvantar, this is the Vaivashata Manvantar. And in the next Manvantar, Bali Maharaj will become Indra. He'll get the position of Indra. So this is how, and then all the demigods also will change. Like in a factory, you have shifts, and you have a foreman. A foreman has a team, and as the shift changes, the foreman comes with his team and takes over the responsibility of the factory. Similarly, you can say, Manu is the foreman. And different demigods and sages and all that, like Shaptarshis, and they all are different machine men, different workers in the shift. So this is how it's called Manvantar. So they are specifically described. Ishanu Katha, the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnations. The Lord appears in different incarnations, and those activities of the Lord are described in the Puranas, Mahapurana. And then Mukti, liberation, how to become free from the material bondage. And the state of total cessation of material involvement. And then ashraya, shelter, ultimate shelter. Sarva karana karanam. Krishna is the ultimate cause, therefore Krishna is the ultimate shelter. So that ultimate shelter, Krishna, is the the final point of this Mahapurana. Ashraya. Prabhupada translated that, Prabhupada expressed it as samam bonam. Samam bonam. The ultimate benefactor. The ultimate point. Ultimate achievement. So all that have been described. You can see Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura and Dwarka have been described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. And Krishna's pastimes are in Dwarka, in Mathura and in Vrindavan. Now even then, Krishna in Vrindavan is the real Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the cause of all causes. He is the cause of even the incarnation. Krishna is not an incarnation, but Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Avatari, Shabo Avatar Shara Shiromani. He is the crest jewel of all the incarnations. So that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is Krishna, not of Dwarka, not of Mathura, but Krishna of Vrindavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That has been very clearly established in Srimad Bhagavatam, especially through the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually reminded us that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Which Krishna? Stadhama Vrindavana. Krishna whose dham is Vrindavan, whose abode, that means Krishna of Vrindavan is the Supreme. Krishna of Dwarka is Purna. Krishna in Mathura is Purna Tara. And Krishna in Vrindavan is Purna Tama. Krishna is the perfect. In Dwarka, Krishna in Mathura is more perfect, and Krishna in Vrindavan is most perfect. So that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna was leaving. Krishna came and he is about to leave. So he told Uddhava what would happen. Due to the Brahmana's curse, all the Jadus will be annihilated. Annihilated means Jadus are all the members of the Jadu family, Krishna's family. They are all Krishna's eternal associates. They came from the spiritual sky to assist Krishna in his pastimes, to take part in Krishna's pastimes. They all came for that. But they are just playing the role. This is the meaning of pastime. Pastimes is something like a drama on a stage. It's enacted. There, in a drama, what happens? Different actors, actresses play different roles. And what is the purpose of a drama? Of course, entertainment. And Krishna's pastimes are also kind of entertainment. When Krishna says Paritrana Sadhunam, he actually means to entertain the sadhus. And by doing that, he also entertains. He also derives joy. This is a very special loving exchange that Krishna has with his devotees. And through this loving exchange, Krishna actually enjoys and gives pleasure, joy to his devotees also. So Krishna came to perform his pastimes, and the residents of his associates from the spiritual sky also came. Now Krishna considered, okay, now I have to send them back. Now how to send them back? Krishna could of course told them, okay, now you go back. But in this material nature, when Krishna comes, Krishna plays like other living entities also. Because he came to teach some lessons so that we can learn something. So Krishna enacts in a certain way. So what did Krishna do before withdrawing his pastimes? He sent the Jadus to Prabhash. Said, you all go to perform sastayan, to bring peace, sasti. A performance to bring peace and prosperity. So they went there to Prabhash Tirtha from Dwarka, and they got intoxicated. They drank some wine, and they got intoxicated, and they started to fight. And in that fight, they all killed each other. So that at the end, there was no one left. So Krishna told that to Uddhava in advance, that this is what's going to happen. These Jadus will receive a Brahmana's curse. That also is another story. Like the Brahmanas, Brahmana means great sages. Narad Muni, Vishamitra, Vasishtha, Durvasha. And so these members of Jadu family, Krishna's family, they, seeing those sages, they wanted to make fun of them. Like, oh, you all are the knowers of three aspects of time, past, present and future. So they put a club and tied it up around Samba's belly and dressed him up like a woman. So as if he was a pregnant woman, and went to the sages and asked, "Can you please tell whether he'll give birth to a boy or a girl?" And they answered, "Well, he'll give birth to someone who will destroy your entire family." So this is again another pastimes of Krishna. It's a drama. They have to go back now. So this is the plot, how the scene is set. So hearing that, then they came back to their senses. Oh my God, what did we do? Like, they cursed us that the entire family will be destroyed. And so they went back to the assembly and reported to Ugrasen about the curse. Ugrasen is king, Krishna's grandfather. And so then it was decided that, okay, this club is supposed to be the destroyer of the whole family. So you get rid of this club by pulverizing it, rubbing it on a stone. So it will become pulverized. So they did that. The club was rubbed and rubbed and rubbed so that it became powdered through rubbing. And it was done on the river side, on the ocean side. And then finally, there was a small little piece left that couldn't be rubbed off. The small final piece of the steel. So they threw it in the water. So now this pulverized club, that steel, gathered on the river bank, and it developed into apparently some seaweeds. Like, not exactly weed, it's like a hollow bamboo-like thing. And so when they got intoxicated, they actually pulled out those weeds. And with that they started to fight. Now consider, they're the valiant, powerful warriors. And just fighting with some sticks, they all killed each other. And that also is hollow sticks. Like, so much so that if you just smash it, just hit it on your hand, it'll break. So this is Krishna's pastimes. This is the divine arrangement of Yogamaya. Like a play on the stage, and it has been enacted in that way. And do you remember the final piece that couldn't be pulverized? That piece was thrown in the ocean and a fish swallowed it. A fisherman caught the fish, and when he cut the fish, he found this small steel piece. He thought, okay, I can sell this one also in the market and get something. And so he sold it in the market. A hunter bought it. And the hunter thought, oh, nice metal piece, sharp steel plate. So with this I'll make an arrow for hunting. So this hunter mistook Krishna's feet, lotus feet, to be the ears of a deer, and he shot the arrow, and that pierced Krishna's feet, Krishna's foot, the heel. And as a result of that, Krishna left the planet. Now, like the devotees can understand that these are Krishna's pastimes. Just pastimes. Like when Krishna was driving Arjun's chariot during the battlefield, Krishna's whole body was pierced with arrows. Because the charioteer also gets the arrows, because that's shot. Sometimes the warriors make it a point to kill the charioteer so that he'll become devoid of a chariot. The warrior will be devoid of a chariot and it will be easier to defeat him. So Krishna got so many arrows in his body. And those arrows were not just some ordinary arrows. Those arrows were empowered by special mantras. Like, to give an example, like how these warriors feel. Bhishma Dev was fighting with Arjun, and Shikhandi was in front of Arjun. And Bhishma Dev knew that Shikhandi is a woman. Or rather, he was born as a woman and he became transformed into a man. So he decided, Bhishma Dev as a hero, as a warrior, he didn't want to shoot arrow to any woman. Therefore he stopped fighting. He was just standing there, not shooting in retaliation. So Shikhandi was shooting arrows and Arjun was shooting arrows. Bhishma Dev later on mentioned that Shikhandi's arrows were like just some feather touch. There was no power in that. All they pierced his body. But he didn't feel anything. But Arjun arrows were coming like thunderbolts. So that's the difference. Shikhandi's arrows were like a touch of feather, and Arjun's arrows were like thunderbolts. Now, you see, these are very, very powerful Kshatriya warriors. But he's a hunter, right? An insignificant hunter. Like Krishna being shot by thousands of arrows did not feel anything. But just one hunter's arrow did not even hit him on the chest or some vulnerable point, on his foot, and Krishna left this planet. About Krishna's condition after the battle of Kurukshetra, how many of you are from near Madras area? Chennai area? There is a Parthasarathi temple in Chennai. That temple actually has the deity of Krishna. It is said that after the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna came there. And that deity of Krishna's body is filled with marks. And that is the marks of the arrows that were pulled out afterwards. They were marked in, like the whole body was marked in this way, indicating the whole body of Krishna was pierced with arrows during the battle. Then nothing happened to Krishna, but now just one hunter's insignificant arrow made Krishna so-called die. So this is how the devotees know that these are the pastimes of Krishna. Whereas the non-devotees, now they get an opportunity. See, I told you Krishna is an ordinary person. So they get a chance also to think in whichever way they want to think. So Krishna was about to withdraw his pastimes, so he told Uddhava about that. And that time Krishna actually told Uddhava to go to Badarikashram. So why in Badarikashram? Because Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving a reason for Krishna's telling Uddhava. Because Krishna felt that although I came and gave my association to the devotees, but some of the sages did not get my association, like Naranarayan, sages and their associates, and other many exalted sages were in Badrikashram. So Krishna thought, although I could not give my association to them, Uddhava is practically non-different from me. So let him go and give them his association. So that is the reason why Krishna asked Uddhava to go to Badarikashram. And also Krishna wanted him to stay for a little longer, and then so that he could preach his message to others. Because Kali Yuga will begin, and the condition of this world will become very, very difficult. And the teachings from Uddhava probably will create some good fortune for this world. So that's why Krishna wanted Uddhava to stay for a little longer time before leaving this planet and going back to the spiritual sky. And in this way, this conversation began between Krishna and Uddhava. I completely forgot that I gave one verse to discuss, because the Bhagavatam class, I took quite a long time to give the introduction. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya Naranchaiva narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nittang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we have selected one verse. Uddhava Gita actually begins from the 7th chapter in a way. So 7th chapter of the 11th canto. So I have selected this verse, the 7th verse of the 7th chapter of 11th canto. Yad idam manasa vacha chakshurbyam shravanadibhi nashvaram grijhamanam cha vidhi maya mano Mayam Jadidang Manasa Vacha Chakshurbham Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grijhamanam Cha Viddhi Maya Manomayam Yadinang Manasa Vacha Chakshurbhyam Shravanadibhi Nasaram Grihamanam Cha Viddhi Maya Manomayam Yadidang Manasa Vacha Chakshurbhyam Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grihamanam Cha Viddhi Maya Manomayam
Yadidam Manasa Vacha Shubham Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grihayamancha Yadidam Manasa Vacha Chakshubhyam Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grihamanancha Viddhi Maya Manomayam Yadidam Manasa Vacha
Mataji, yeah.
Yadidam Manasa Vacha Chakshurbhyam Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grihanamanam Cha Viddhi Maya Manomayam Yadidam Manasa Vacha Chakshurbhyam Shravanadibhi Nashwaram Grihyamanam Cha Viddhi Maya Manomayam
Yat, that which, idam, this world, manasa, by the mind, vacha, by speech, chakshurbhyam, by the eyes, shravanadibhi, by the ears and other senses, nashwaram, temporary, grihamanam, that which is being accepted or perceived, cha, and viddhi, you should know, maya manomayam. It is only imagined to be real by the influence of maya. Translation. My dear Uddhava, the material universe that you perceive through your mind, speech, eyes, ears and other senses is an illusory creation that one imagines to be real due to the influence of maya. In fact, you should know that all of the objects of the material senses are temporary. Please repeat after me. My dear Uddhava, the material universe that you perceive through your mind, speech, eyes, ears, and other senses is an illusory creation that one imagines to be real due to the influence of Maya. In fact, you should know that all of the objects of the material senses are temporary. Purport. The question may be raised that since we find good and bad qualities throughout the material world, how can Lord Krishna advise Uddhava to see everything equally? In this verse, Krishna explains that material good and evil are a creation of the illusory energy, just as the objects of dream are a mental creation. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Lord Krishna is actually everything because He is present within everything and everything is present within Him. Krishna is Sarvaloko Maheshwaram, the Lord and proprietor of all worlds. To see anything separate from Krishna is illusion. And attraction to any kind of material illusion, either good or bad, is ultimately useless, since it obliges the living entity to continue wandering in the cycle of birth and death. So, Krishna started to advise Uddhava. There are some very important points that Krishna mentioned earlier in this same chapter. I'll just read those few verses 3 onwards. Okay, let's just start from the beginning. That actually gives the proper understanding of these few chapters. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O greatly fortunate Uddhava, you have accurately revealed my desire to withdraw the Jadu dynasty from the earth and return to my own abode in Vaikuntha. Thus Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and all other planetary rulers are now praying for me to resume my residence in Vaikuntha." Krishna came from the spiritual sky and now Krishna is preparing to go back. And the demigod, the exalted personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma knew who Krishna is, and it is due to Brahma's prayer Krishna actually came to this material nature. And now they are requesting that, okay, now the purpose has been served, the mission has been accomplished, the demons have been annihilated, so now Krishna, you can go back. So now the question may arise, why they are asking Krishna to go back to Vaikuntha? So this actually indicates that Lord Brahma, Shiva also did not have the real understanding who Krishna actually is. They are also thinking that Krishna, they are actually addressing which Krishna? Krishna of Dwarka. This is not Krishna of Vrindavan that they are dealing with. Krishna of Vrindavan is the Supreme Personality of God. And He came in this particular Manvantar. Which Manvantar this is? Okay, I'll ask again. How many Manus are there in a day of Brahma? 14. And this is the which Manu's reign going on? 7th Manu. What's the name of this Manu? Very good. Very good. Vaivashata Manvantar. In a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and during the 7th Manu's reign, on the 28th, how many Chaturjugas are there in a day of in a reign of one Manu? 71. 1000 divided by 14 is about 71. 71 plus something. So one Manu's reign is for 71 Chaturjugas. Out of the 71 Chaturjugas of Vaivashata Manu, in the 28th Chaturjuga, in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, comes. So this is that Chaturjuga. And in the following Chaturjuga, Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna of Vrindavan does not come every Dwapar Yuga. He comes only once in a very special Dwapar Yuga. So, so that Dwapar Yuga Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, reveals his Braja Leela. Anyway, but they are addressing not that Nandanandan Krishna, they are addressing Vasudev Krishna of Dwarka. So this Vasudev Krishna, they are saying, therefore they are saying, please, now we can go back to Vaikuntha. And answering the prayer of Lord Brahma, I descended within this world along with my plenary portion, Lord Baladev, and performed various activities on behalf of the demigods. I have now completed my mission here. Now, due to the Brahmana's curse, the Jadu dynasty will certainly perish by fighting among themselves. And on the seventh day from today, the ocean will rise up and inundate this city of Dwarka. So Dwarka also will disappear. Remember Krishna created Dwarka? Krishna transferred his capital from Mathura to Dwarka because Jarasandha was causing too much trouble. So this is again a part of Krishna's pastime. So now that Krishna is going to withdraw his pastime, and after Krishna withdraws his pastime, Dwarka also will disappear. Ocean will engulf. O saintly Uddhava, in the near future I'll abandon this earth. Then, being overwhelmed by the age of Kali, the earth will be bereft of all piety. And then Krishna actually advises him to go to Badarikashram. So, the purport is saying, the question may be, did I read the purport? No, I did not. Yeah, okay.
Only 2 paragraphs.
2 paragraphs. Okay, I didn't complete. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching constitute the activities of the 5 knowledge-gathering senses. Similarly, the voice, the hands, the legs, the anus, and genital constitute the 5 working senses. These 10 senses are organized around the mind, which is the center of material activity. When the living entity desires to exploit matter, he is covered by the 3 modes of nature. Thus, he concocts different philosophical, political, and social explanation of reality, but never understands the absolute truth. Lord Krishna, who is beyond the contaminated perception of the material senses, one who is entangled in the network of material designations such as race, nationality, sectarian religion, political affiliation, etc., is absorbed in the experience of combining his body and other bodies with material sense objects. Thinking these sense objects to be source of happiness and satisfaction, unfortunately the entire material world, along with the senses that experience it, is a temporary creation that will be annihilated by time potency of the Supreme Lord. Despite our foolish hopes and dreams, there is no actual happiness on the material platform. The real truth is not material, nor is it temporary. The real truth is called Atma, or the eternal soul. And among eternal souls, one is supreme. He is called the personality of Godhead. And in his original form, he is known as Krishna. The knowledge gathering process culminates in perception of the inconceivable transcendental form of Krishna. One who is not perceiving Krishna in everything and everything in Krishna is undoubtedly on the platform of mental concoction. In this verse, Lord Krishna warns Uddhava to remain clear of this illusory platform of existence. So this is how Krishna is beginning to impart the knowledge. And throughout this Uddhava Gita, we will find that Krishna is making us understand what this material nature is. What is the material nature? The nature that we perceive through our senses. That is material. And in this verse, Krishna is pointing out that this world that is perceived by our senses is temporary. So, since it is temporary, it is not actually real. It is illusory. In this respect, one question comes that not real, does it mean that we are promoting Mayavad? Brahma Sattva Jagan Mitha? No. It is not real like a dream. Dream, when we are dreaming, is the dream real or not? In a dream you are seeing that somebody made you a king or a queen. How do you feel? Don't you feel that you have become a king or a queen? Or in a dream, if a tiger comes to devour you, then how do you feel? Don't you feel scared? So is the dream real when you are dreaming? It is real when you are dreaming. Now this is also like a dream. It is real, but this is a special dream. When we dream in our sleep, that dream is an individual dream. The person sleeping next to us will not see what we are seeing or what we are experiencing. That is that dream. But in this dream, whoever is here will go through the same experience. So this is a real dream. Realistic dream. It is real as a dream. Only when we wake up we'll find that it is a dream. But now that we are dreaming, it is real. So it is a collective dream. Now whose dream it is? It's a collective dream. Whoever is here will go through the same dream. So in a way we can say that this is Mahavishnu's dream. Didn't Mahavishnu glance towards Maya and the material nature became manifest? So this is the result of Mahavishnu's glance towards Maya. And we are going through some experiences. So in that sense, it is real. But in the spiritual context, it is a dream. But in this instructions, Krishna will clarify that this is a dream, but we'll understand it only when we wake up. We'll wake up in which reality? Generally from a dream, we wake up in this physical plane. We have two bodies, right? Two material bodies. Subtle material body and gross material body. The dream takes place in the subtle material body. But then we come to our gross material body and we wake up. But beyond these gross and subtle material bodies, there is another body. Which body? Spiritual body. Just as when we wake up in our gross material body, the dream of the subtle material body disappears. Similarly, when we'll wake up in our spiritual body, this dream that we are experiencing through the gross material and subtle material body also will disappear. So that is the goal of life. Now the question is, how to wake up? How to wake up. So that is what we are going to discuss in next few classes. And so maybe at this point I will ask if anybody has any questions. I would very much appreciate your questions. Pariprashnena sevaya. Pariprashnena. How does the knowledge transmitted? The seeker asks questions, and the one who is situated in knowledge, he answers the questions, and that's how he gives the knowledge. And Prabhupada said that two kinds of people do not have any questions. Krishna also said that in this chapter. One who understood everything and one who did not understand anything. So we have to consider that we are somewhere in the middle of these two regions, so we should have questions. Like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, these are all questions and answers. Upanishads, Purans, they're all questions and answers. Okay, you have the first question.
Spoken in 18 days, and how many days did it take?
Bhagavad Gita spoken in 18 days. No. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna in a flash of a moment. Bhagavad Gita was, Battle of Kurukshetra was fought for 18 days. Right? You see, anyway, the point is, Krishna can expand time and Krishna can contract time. Battle just began, the conch shell was blown. So how much time was left? They were about to fight. The conch shell blown means, okay, fight begins. How much time did they have? So we have to understand that Krishna expanded the time to speak Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Anyway, so what's your next question? Okay. Yes, Nandadulal?
And Srivad didn't understand who Krishna is. In this context, you mentioned Nanda. But Brahma had already, he understood this Purna Brahma Svanatma. So how could he, now that is at the level come to?
Yeah, the point is that the relationship that Brahma has is with Vaikuntha, Narayan. Right? That is his. Brahma is not related in that way to Nandanandan Krishna. So that's why we also see that Brahma fails to recognize Krishna. When Krishna killed Aghasura, Brahma was surprised. Who is this boy? But then when Brahma saw Krishna is sharing his food with other cowherd boys, eating each other's juta, then Brahma thought, how can Narayan behave like this? So that's why Brahma tried to find out who this boy is. And he stole the cows and cowherd boys. Now in this respect we have to remember Krishna comes every day of Brahma. Right? Still Brahma forgets. who Krishna is. So this we have to understand is the arrangement of Yogamaya. Now let us go back to the drama part of it. The director makes the actors play the roles. Right? So Yogamaya is making everyone play his respective role. And they are just playing the role. But these roles they are playing not by memorizing the scripts. These roles they are playing by literally forgetting about everything else and becoming completely absorbed in the role that they are supposed to play, which is arranged by Yogamaya. Yes.
Just two questions.
What happened to?
Devaki and Vasudeva.
Yeah. Okay, good point. I didn't mention that. You see, Krishna made arrangements for the other who did not go to Prabhash. Those Jadu members, they went back. I mean, they killed each other, so to say, right? And went back to Godhead. But the other members, those who are in Dwarka, Krishna asked them to go to Indraprastha, where the Pandavas were. And then, so that means they actually went to Indraprastha, the Pandavas' capital.
The other question is, Uddhava had the complexion he looks like Krishna?
Yeah, he looks like Krishna, he dresses like Krishna, because he wears only things that have been used by Krishna. He uses Krishna's remnants, not only he eats Krishna's remnants, he also picks up the dresses that Krishna wore and he used to wear them. Therefore, when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, gopis thought that Krishna has returned. Seeing Uddhava just from a distance. Some hands went up here. Okay, yeah, Mother Krishna Priya.
So, he eternally also resides at Radhakund, and then he's also in the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, what is his position in the spiritual world?
He in the spiritual world, he's Uddhava. Yeah, in Dwarka. His situation is in Dwarka. And in the spiritual Dwarka, he is there with Krishna all the time.
In that same.
And the same relationship, yeah.
And I have one other question was, we know that many of Krishna's associates, they also came in Chaitanya Leela, Gora Leela. Does Uddhava come in?
Good question. I just thought, I also reflected on that. Who is Uddhav in Chaitanya Leela? I have to check it. I haven't come across, because you see, it is Kavi Karnapur in a book called Gaur Ganadesh Deepika mentioned different associates of Krishna in Chaitanya Leela. But those associates are mostly Braja residents, Braja associates of Krishna. But there are some Dwarka associates also. For example, Satyabhama is Jagadananda Pandit. Brahma is Haridas Thakur. But, yeah.
Is that correct? And so those mantras, how are they alive and what are the mantras? Like you mentioned the statue.
Yeah. That art has been lost in this age. Yeah. Because there is no proper guru to teach the Dhanurveda in this age. Like say for example, there is Brahmastra. They would chant the mantra and release. So you see, it is an astra empowered by the mantra. And they have the devastating effect. Right? Just consider if simple things like fire can have such devastating effect. Right? Sound can have such devastating effect. What to speak of this spiritual sound vibration? What kind of power it has? Anyway, you got the Maha Mantra, so you have the greatest thing.
That's like the arrow.
But don't use it to shoot somebody.
Like the arrow, like most of the poor ones were very gentle, like Arjuna.
The arrow means they would point it to somebody. This, huh?
The intention, or was it really?
Well, I'm not an expert in that mantra. I mean, in that astra. So, the point is that they used to fight with arrows, which used to be empowered by the mantra and indicated to an individual. They did not have such mass destructive effect. In today's world, like they create these weapons of mass destruction. But that was not the case in those age. And those weapons were a lot more powerful. And the individuals were also powerful enough to withstand those attacks. Yeah. Yes.
I was wondering when the Gita was spoken,
Okay.
and what surrounding and who else was listening, or is it one, and you say Krishna had unlimited time to explain, so he could not have it.
Yeah, only Arjun heard and Sanjay.
And what?
No others did not. When Krishna was speaking Bhagavad Gita in the battle of Kurukshetra, or at the beginning of the battle, others did not hear. That's why it's not that, that is the thing, like as I was saying, the battle already began. Conch shell has been blown. Right? So everyone is now charge. How much time is left? So between the conch shell blowing and charge, right? In between that time, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Which means Krishna expanded the time to narrate to Arjuna. To narrate to Arjuna. To others it was a moment. To Arjuna it was 45 minutes.
The sages too, and then you mentioned Narayana. Could you clear up the identity of Narayana? At least for me, I thought he was an avatar of the Lord, and so how would the Lord come to be immersed into himself?
Narayan are two expansions of the Lord. They're incarnations of the Lord. And Nara literally means human being. And Narayan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this incarnation the Lord assumed these two personalities. Right? They reside in Badarikashram. And somewhere also it has been mentioned that Krishna and Arjuna were also the incarnations of Narayan. Krishna is the incarnation of Narayan and Arjuna is the incarnation of Narayan. But at the same time, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur pointed out that Krishna asked Uddhava to go there to give them his association. Because Krishna did not go to Badarikashram. So they were deprived of Krishna's association. To compensate for that, Krishna sent Uddhava there. Yes.
But we can actually see Dwarka in this material world. Who did that now?
So that real Dwarka went under the water.
The real Dwarka.
Yeah. But nowadays the archaeologists, they found in the ocean there is a remain of a city. So Dwarka was there. The Dwarka that we are seeing is, you can say, a replica of Dwarka. The real Dwarka was in the middle of the ocean. The Dwarka that we see now is on the land. But that Dwarka, to go there is a thing called Bhed Dwarka. You have to go there by boat. That is probably the remains of the original Dwarka. Part of original Dwarka probably remained. Okay? Yes, Aditya Narayan?
It says basically that the demigods are not praying for me to resume my residence in Vaikuntha. But the Lord does not, like when the Lord is personally present here, He's also present here. When the Lord is personally present here, He's also present in Vaikuntha. Like the statement is saying that you're not praying to resume my residence.
No, Krishna sometimes disappears from Vaikuntha. Then the residents, that's also explained in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The residents of Dwarka miss him. Here Vaikuntha means going back to Dwarka, spiritual Dwarka. So Krishna was missing and now he is asked to go back. But at the same time, Krishna is always present there. In three ways, Krishna is present. In his eternal situation in the spiritual world, through his pastimes, when he incarnates in the material world, and Krishna also resides in the heart of his devotees. So, for a devotee, like when he's seeing him in the heart, it's not just a heart imagining. He is seeing Krishna as he is in his spiritual situation. So here we have to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead endowed with his inconceivable potency. Just like Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, at the same time, Krishna is situated in the spiritual sky. How is it possible? It's possible only for Krishna. And it will be possible for us to understand it only when we go back to the spiritual world. Yes, Kirtana?
Guru Maharaj, in the last you were discussing about the gross material body and the spiritual body. So my question is that when soul leaves the body, now the soul is Satchit Ananda. So does the soul also regain some senses to perceive the pain in hellish planet and bliss in the spiritual planet?
Yeah, good point. You see, we have two material bodies. Right? Gross material body, subtle material body. At the time of death, we give up, we are free from the gross material body. But the subtle material body remains. And it is the subtle material body that carries the soul to the next destination. Right? Subtle material body doesn't die. And according to his previous actions, karma, the subtle material body goes to, or nature takes that individual to appropriate destination. Some goes to heaven, some goes to hell. Right? And there, they go through this experience. Like for example, when you are, as I was pointing out, when you are dreaming, right? Is it real or not? When you are dreaming, it's real. It becomes unreal only when you wake up. Now, when we have the gross material body, we wake up in the gross material body. But when you don't have the gross material body, we don't have any situation to wake up to. So we go through that experience. The soul, the individual goes through all these either hellish or heavenly experiences after death. And this is how the nature prepares a living entity for the next body. Any other? Yes, Premasindu.
This is all a dream, and in dreams sometimes we think this is good, this is bad. And Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami also says this is all mental speculation, that we think this is good, this is bad. So how do we understand that if it is all a dream and some things are good, we say
Like in a dream, you are seeing this is good, this is bad. In dream, you are having a sweet dream, or you are having a nightmare, right? But when you wake up, it was just a dream. It was, our dream may be false, but this dream is real. Right? When somebody comes and beats you up, it's real. Right? You scream in pain. Right? And we go through a specific order. That's how it's real. Because as I said, it is an arrangement by Mahavishnu. And arrangement of the personality of Godhead is real. Whatever he does is real. But it is materially real. And this material reality will disappear when you wake up in the spiritual reality. Right? Otherwise, as long as we are in the bodily concept of life, we are very much here and it is very much real. Right? I mean, how often when you are hungry, you think, after all, I am not this body. Yes?
Guru Maharaj, when a child is born, he's like a small baby. And right from that stage, or maybe in the mom's womb itself, I'm not sure at what stage. So the three bodies he has at the same, from my example, at the time of birth. So he has the gross body, the subtle body and the spiritual body. Is it right from the birth or from the conception? Okay, good one.
So at the time of birth, one develops a gross material body. Subtle material body is already there.
Is already there.
Yeah, and spiritual body is practically non-existent.
Right.
Non-existence in the sense, it is present as a spiritual spark.
Yes.
The body is not there. But through spiritual activity, the spiritual body develops. Okay, Haribol. So keep your questions. If you have questions, write them down and we'll have lots of question-answer sessions. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande.